So for those of you that aren't that familiar with ThreatLocker, we are a zero trust endpoint security solution. And what that really means is that we implement security through controls. So there are other methods of security, of course. We try to train our end users to not introduce threats into the environment. And we have a lot of detection tools out there that are trying to determine when that happens and to stop that threat from hopefully doing too much damage. And ThreatLocker is going to sit on that control side where we're putting controls in place to limit what's allowed to happen in our environment, hopefully stopping those attacks before they even start. So what I'm going to do today is go through a little bit about how we do that with the modules, the different modules that we have in providing protection. And I also want to take a few minutes at the end to introduce you to some new things that ThreatLocker has announced that'll be available to you very soon. So the foundation of ThreatLocker really is application allow listing, which is a very simple concept. It says what applications actually need to run in your environment. Let's allow those and just block everything else. So it's easier to identify the known required applications than it is to identify all of the bad ones. Now, we build on top of that with something that we call ring fencing, because once our applications are running, they have access to areas of the system that they probably don't need access to, whether that's other applications, that's data, maybe it's internet access. All of these things are available to our applications, which allow our good applications to be weaponized against us in the hands of an attacker. And so we allow you to control that movement. Does Office need to access PowerShell? Does PowerShell need access to the internet where it could connect to a command and control server and download that payload? So we allow you to put those restrictions in place and limit that lateral movement that might occur in the environment. Elevation control is simply a privileged access management system, allowing you to give those admin rights when and where it's needed. We know our users shouldn't be admins, but sometimes that causes us some headaches. And so elevation is really designed around alleviating some of the pain that's associated with that, hopefully getting rid of the last of those admin rights, but providing that, again, just providing that access when and where it's needed. Storage control is all about limiting the access to our data so that if there is something that's happening in the environment, whether it's an application vulnerability, whether an attacker has gotten a foothold into the environment, if there are limited ways to access our data, there are limited ways then to compromise our data. So not every application that you have on your computer needs access to every piece of data that you have. So just a simple illustration, if you have a QuickBooks database sitting out on a server, the only application that really needs access to that database is QuickBooks. So we allow you to lock that down and say only QuickBooks has the ability to access this data. So any other activity going on in the network wouldn't be able to compromise that. And then finally, network access control is that endpoint firewall, centrally managed, easily locking down those network ports, making sure that people haven't opened up things like 3389 into the network and giving access to places and things they shouldn't have access to. So those are the products that are currently in the ThreatLocker suite. So I want to now go into a couple of the new things that are coming. The first one is the Health Center. And this is just a new dashboard that we're putting in the portal to give you really quick and easy visibility into what's in the environment. Are there some things that maybe should be looked at, maybe aren't as secure as they could be? Do we want to implement some things that might better secure our environment, give you visibility into maybe some potential issues that you weren't otherwise aware of? Now, obviously, I'm going to go through these really quick because we only have a couple of minutes. We'll be happy to show you more of this later. ThreatLocker Community, really excited about. We're going to allow all of our customers to really knowledge share with one another. A lot of our customers use similar software. They support customers that use the same types of software. And some of the unique software takes a little bit of configuration. And so if somebody's gone to the work to do that, they can share that with other ThreatLocker partners who may be dealing with the same thing. And of course, then you can benefit from something that somebody else has done as well. And we're going to have ThreatLocker staff contributing to these things as well. So as threats emerge, if we can create some policies, again, to harden your environment around recent threats, we'll provide those resources to the community as well. And you can apply them if they're appropriate into your environment. Now, Configuration Manager is the new name for what was ThirdWall. We acquired ThirdWall back a number of months ago, and integrating their technology, their concepts into the ThreatLocker portal, and with the new name of Configuration Manager. And I just have a couple examples on the screen that you can see. This really allows you, again, to harden the operating system. Things like controlling local administrator accounts, disabling, setting password complexities. And some of the favorites amongst partners out there are limiting access to cloud storage, webmail, social media, those kinds of things that you may not really want people accessing at work all of the time. And also the ability to monitor for ransomware attacks through canary files and taking action based on that. And then finally, to wrap up, ThreatLocker Ops, we're really excited about giving you the opportunity to alert and take action on events that occur in the environment. So if the threat level reaches a certain threshold, maybe you want to isolate that machine, get that machine off the network so that no further damage can be done. Maybe depending what it is, failed logon attempts, you can throw an alert into the health center that I showed you earlier, where you'll get a banner there saying, hey, this occurred. Maybe you want to check that out. And there's a lot of flexibility, a lot of configuration that can be done here. Again, just alerting you of what's happening and either taking automatic action or giving you a notice so that you can take that additional manual action or remediation steps if needed. So I think that's my time. Thank you for listening to me today, and we'll be glad to speak to you in the breakout room later.
Awesome.